Man, today we are tuning into the Llama Arts 2017 compilation. I don't really get scared like that, so we about to just watch some of this, bro, see if it can freak me out, whatever. I think these are supposed to be scary stories, so let's get it started. I'm not gonna lie, let's get it started.
My name is Ethan, and I'm a photographer. I took a trip last year with my wife to the Colorado mountains for an art project. My wife is also an avid skier, so she talked me into adding skiing into the trip. We had the option to book a room at a ski resort or rent out a private log cabin. The second one seemed more romantic, so I picked that one. Plus, it didn't hurt that it was cheaper. The cabin was nothing luxurious or anything. It was a single-floor, 4-room little thing. A 2-person bedroom, a small living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom.
It's in here, nice crib. Not gonna lie, nice little log cabin.
The idea of being secluded in a warm log cabin during a blizzard was amazing. However, the storm was interfering with the cable signal, so we didn't have much to do this one particular evening. It was just starting to get dark out at this point, but there was still a decent amount of light outside, so I thought it would be perfect for getting a few shots of videos in the blizzard for backgrounds and wallpapers.
This game,
Bro,
you're not ready for it.
Into the video, bro. Come on.
I told my wife I'd be back within 10 minutes and slipped on my boots and coat. The moment I stepped outside and shut the door, I noticed footsteps leading up to the door in the snow that had blown under the wooden awning. I could see the prints doubled, as whoever left them there turned and went the opposite direction.
If I'm somewhere by myself, bro, I come outside the snow, whatever, laid out in front of my porch on my patio, whatever the case may be, if I see tracks walking up to my door and turned around, nigga, what? Like, why you came up to the door just to turn around? You ain't knock no nothing, bro. I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't gonna fake it. I'm gonna be a little nervous, cause what the hell? I ain't getting no knock, no nothing. Yo, I'm gonna go take a picture of an Arctic bird. You got Articuno. I'm gonna take an Articuno photo. And there's tracks leading up to your crib, bro. I'd be shitting, bro. I'd be scared.
Freaked the fuck out, but I wasn't about to go inside and scare my wife. I decided to give in to my curiosity and follow the prints to the right side of the cabin. Right away, I noticed that they led to the bedroom window. My heart froze in fear when I saw this. I could see my wife sitting on the bed using her iPad. She noticed me, and I waved. She laughed. I continued to follow the footprints around the cabin to the other side. They led to the living room window on the other side. Someone was stalking us. But how long ago was the question? I found myself standing there for a good minute asking myself if I should follow the footprints anymore. For whatever reason, I decided I would. They were now leading away from the cabin. I knew I was...
I'm gonna be honest, man. If I see footprints, like I said, I'm gonna be nervous, but I might have to follow them too, bro. I know that's how you die in the scary movies, bro, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm here by myself with a girl in the crib. I gotta figure it out. I'm gonna be a little too curious.
Following the prints to where this person was going, not coming from, simply by the boot marks. I followed the prints away from the opening and into the trees. That was where I saw him. A man wearing a black coat facing a tree, slouched down looking at the ground.
And I turn right the fuck around. Right there. Once I see the shadow of this dude standing like that, hunched over, I'm gone. Running straight back to the crib, locking the doors, locking the windows.
He was still as a statue, and I could see the snow piling up on his hood and shoulders.
He was on
I froze in my tracks, trying not to make a sound. I would have thought to ask him if he needed help otherwise, but this guy was just standing there, not doing anything, like some kind of deranged freak. I started to gradually move backwards without even turning around, making sure this man didn't turn around or notice me. When I got at a visual distance, I turned around and stomped through the snow back to the cabin. When I slammed the door shut, my wife came over to see what was wrong. I saw worry in her eyes. I guess she saw the worry in mine. She knew I saw something, and after a few minutes of harassment, I finally told her what I saw. She immediately started packing her things, telling me we're leaving right away. I told her no, we're not going anywhere. I would not get a refund for leaving early, and I wasn't about to up and leave just because some weird guy was walking around outside.
Choosing life over...
She made a point of locking both locks.
Choosing money over life.
All of the windows were sealed shut. For the rest of the night, we read stuff on our iPads.
You're risking the safety for the bag. I'm not gonna get a refund. You might not see tomorrow. What? Come on.
I reviewed the pictures and videos I had taken so far. We turned out the lights early as there wasn't much else to do. What if he's still out there?
My bad. She over here talking about what if you folded. You packed your bags. You had everything ready to go, and then you folded. You said, "Oh, you right. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna get in bed."
I remember my
I
wife
took my
asking
ass
me,
home.
there's no way he still...
Once you would, my fault. Once you would have said anything about, man, I'm not gonna get a refund. I'm out. I'm out the door. I'm already in my car. This shit started and it's warm. I'm out. You feel me?
out there,
So-
I then assured her. Listening to the wind blowing outside, along with the small flakes of snow hitting the windows, was strangely relaxing, and I knew I'd be able to fall asleep quickly. Except if it wasn't for...
Hey, look at the cookies.
the knock at the bedroom window. We were both still awake, and we both knew it was a knock from a person. I ushered my wife out of bed and out into the living room without turning on any lights. There was nothing to use as a weapon whatsoever. Our only option was to run before something might happen. I told my wife we'd have to forget our luggage and make a dash for the Jeep. We slipped on our boots and coats in the dark in a matter of seconds, and when we heard a knock at the living room window from the opposite side of our car, we took that opportunity to run.
Nope.
I pressed the unlock button, so grateful I chose to have remote
Nope.
locks on my Wrangler, and we hopped in. The car started with ease, and as soon as the headlights flashed on, the man was standing facing the log cabin on our side now.
Why the hell, like, that is his go-to pose. That's his aura pose, bro. What is this? Bro, he got the fit lean. He got the... Like, what is that shit? Like, come on. Like, if you gonna kill me, bro, don't stand like that 30 seconds before you do it, bro. Like, what the fuck is that? Excuse my language, though. You feel
On the window,
confused, bro.
just facing the wall of the
confused.
cabin in the same position I'd seen him in earlier, as if he were hiding his face. We drove to the nearby ski resort without much trouble in the Jeep. We stayed there for the night and went back the next day to the log cabin to collect our things we left behind. He wasn't there.
I'm 27 years old. I live alone in a rural town in Virginia, about 2 blocks away from my parents. My parents are both in their 60s, and my mom has become a very worrisome woman in her old age. Sometimes she walks over uninvited and lets herself in, since I had regrettably given her a key, which can get a bit annoying.
Dang, regrettable.
Like if I would be out really late on weekends at a bar or with women, I would sometimes come home to my mom sitting in the living room waiting, worried sick. I
That's
know
just
you
no
may just
boundaries,
think,
bro.
oh my
Ain't
god,
nothing.
that's crazy.
Ain't
Why not just put your foot
That's
down
no
and tell her to
boundaries,
stop?
bro.
Well, because you don't know my mom. It's very hard to describe
fault.
her, but she's the kind of worrisome, innocent little lady that you just can't bring yourself to go against. And I hate to mention, she also has mild dementia. Anyway, this was Saturday night.
Okay.
I think it was around 2 in the morning. I was at a nearby club with a group of college friends, really the only place to hang out in this boring town, and I was getting ready to head home. I said goodbye to all my friends and walked the 3 blocks it took to get back to my house. I walked up my front stoop in my drunken haze and dug my hand in my pocket for my keys. When I grabbed the doorknob, I realized it was unlocked. My mom was here again. I quietly opened and shut the front door, locking it behind me. I put my keys on the kitchen counter and found a note written in my mom's handwriting saying, "You forgot this at our house, next to the box of half-eaten cake my parents didn't want." I didn't see my mom anywhere, so I assumed she must have gone upstairs to sleep in the guest bed until I got back, which is something she would commonly do as well. Then I heard footsteps upstairs, confirming it, and that's when I sighed once again. 27 years old, almost 3 in the morning, and she still has to wait up and treat me like a child. I ran upstairs to check.
Now, hold on. I don't care if you're 25, bro. You just had to say that shit out loud. You hear your mama stepping, making noise upstairs, so that confirmed it in your head that she at your crib. Whatever, that's fine. Don't talk to your mama like that, nigga. The hell? Or, hey, you feel what I'm saying? Don't say that out loud, man. That's disrespectful.
Guest bed, empty, along with all the bathrooms. I was
Phone
afraid
that
Mom was
motherfucker.
having one of her episodes due to her condition, so I ran to the phone to call my dad. After 4 rings, my dad picked up in a groggy voice, asking what the hell is the matter. After I told him that I heard Mom wandering around upstairs in my house, there was a short pause, and then he said, "That's not possible, she's sleeping right next to me." My mouth
shit.
fell open as I turned my head to face the dark upstairs, and just barely by the light provided by the kitchen, I could see a head peering around from the corner at the top of the stairs, looking down at me.
What the
I
fuck is
screamed
that?
terrified as I ran out the front door
Hell
and down the street to
no.
my parents' house, explaining to my father on the way. About halfway there, my dad told me, "All right, I'm gonna call the cops," and hung up. I made it to my parents' house, where my mom was already waiting at the door, worried sick. My mom explained that she did come over to clean my kitchen a little bit and to bring over the cake they didn't want. Two police cars pulled up in front of my parents' house, where they escorted me and my dad down the street to my house. One officer stayed outside with us, while 2 others went inside to investigate. It felt like 15 minutes before they came back outside and said it was clear. They checked the crawl space, the attic, everything. There was really nothing for me to report, other than the door was left unlocked and I saw the outline of a head upstairs before I ran for it. Still, I didn't feel safe sleeping in there that night, so I went back to my parents' house. Me and my dad are certain that my mom simply forgot to lock the door when she left, as her memory has been getting worse over the past few months. My dad has been stopping her from coming over alone from now on, which makes me both sad but also relieved. Some nights, I still get paranoid that whoever was in my house that night never left, and is still hiding in here somewhere.
Every dream has a story.
I don't know.
And this is the
I ain't
story of
scared.
the bonds between
I'm not a thriller. Like,
generations
it's not even a thriller for real.
and
I
those
don't
who
know.
dream fearlessly.
Maybe I'm just, you feel me, too tough. Maybe I just can't get scared. Maybe I just can't get scared, man. It's like, it's not even surprising to me. I'm not gonna lie. I did think it was his mom in the crib, though. But
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us, so everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers, so our teacher in the middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact moment it happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker.
hold on, we're gonna backtrack just a little bit.
Exact answer
Hold
too,
on.
Adidas.
You gotta watch out for that kid right there. And you know who I'm talking about, the quiet kid in the back on the phone. I'm telling you right now, that nigga's a villain. I can tell, trust me, just watch.
The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown. I actually got the chills, and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room. We all sat in silence for about 2 minutes, and then the usual buzzing that came from a panel in the back of the room ceased, indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting later, we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the hallway. 2 girls in the class actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you." It was at that moment that I started...
What did I do? You ain't got no reason to kill me, bro. What did I do? What did I do to you, bro? Because I ain't say hi?
fear for my life. My teacher shushed us as we all looked at each other to see our peers' reactions. The banging then moved from the lockers to our classroom door. And that's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging...
Fuck you! Hey, look, I don't give a fuck, bro. If we in the classroom, bro, and you know something going on, bro, nigga banging at the door, you already crying, so you on thin ice already. You already crying. What the fuck is you crying for? Feel me? Nigga knocking on the... No! Hey, look. Nah, we don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. Thank you very much. No thank you. No thank you.
And the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." 2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door. But eventually, he finally continued down the hallway, screaming like a mentally insane person until we could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some apparently mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing...
Now, how... I don't know. There's just something about that just pissed me off, but right in that moment, got a mentally unstable person just walking into the school, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. When I'm in a room or, I don't know, whatever. Whenever I'm in a room with anybody, bro, even by myself, I know what's going on the whole time. I know who's coming in. I know who's already in this motherfucker. You feel me? I notice any movement of the slightest. Swear. Look, if I'm that teacher at that desk, the receptionist, bro. If I'm the receptionist, bro, and there's a mentally unstable person walking into my building, I will know. Like, there's something that's off about it. All you gotta do is look, bro. You gonna be able to tell. I swear to God. I was like, nah, you gotta leave right now. Get the fuck out. He would've been gone.
Her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now this was before the school had, and staff halted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now this was before the school had cameras or could afford proper security, so the school was wide open to something like this happening. The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't find him, so the dean instructed the teachers to resume teaching but to keep all the doors locked and to not let any students leave for any reasons. The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage closets near the back end of the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum. The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up, for example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone. My entire class, as far as I know, to this day, has no idea if this man was ever found, but I like to think that right now, he's being given the proper help that he needs.
Nah, that nigga under a bridge somewhere, bro. Eating Vienna sausages.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it,
I'm gonna tell you
just
that right
by
now.
thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
A nigga under a bridge eating Vienna sausages.
Three months after I turned 16 in 2005, I got my first car, a '99 Toyota Camry. On a warm Saturday night, when my friend Alex invited me over to one of his friend's big parties, I knew I wouldn't be in a condition to drive the Camry home afterward. So we carpooled with Alex's girlfriend, Brianna. We lived in the countryside of Virginia, meaning less big parties. Meaning when there was a big party, it was a huge deal and everyone would go. We lived about 5 to 10 minutes away from this kid's house. I knew where he lived as I was acquainted with him, but not exactly friends. The whole ride there, we took the same 2-lane highway type road through the woods, and this kid's house was actually on this road further down. At certain points on this road, there were a few houses on either side, and then it would just go back to being a long, empty highway again. The house was tiny, like a lot of houses around the area, but the party was held outside anyways, since its closest neighbors were relatively far
Small
away,
crib,
and noise wasn't an
the
issue.
yard space is infinite. That shit fire.
I'll skip most of the party up until the point that Brianna, who was supposed to be our designated driver, had to suddenly leave for a small family emergency. Alex said it was fine and that we'd find a ride home.
Wait, hold on. Am I tripping?
See,
Am I tripping, or is this right here? Is this a ghost? Like, is that supposed to be the shadow? I don't know, because it's like her shadow would be right here, right? So it's got to be a ghost.
Alex said it was fine and that we'd find a ride home. Well, fast forward another few hours and another few drinks, and I could barely even walk straight. I checked my watch, and it was like 2 in the morning. I figured it was time to go. I started looking for Alex, but I couldn't find him anywhere. In fact, it seemed like everybody I knew had already left. I could barely even think straight, but I was still furious at the fact that Alex could have actually left without me.
Uber.
I asked to use the party host's phone and dialed Alex's home number. After 2 tries, I gave up and then realized I shouldn't wake his family up. So,
Nigga, I don't give a fuck. If I'm stranded somewhere, nigga, I'm gonna call your mom. I'm talking about you. You know who you are. I'm waking your whole family up. Your mom's just waking up. Your girlfriend is waking up. Nigga, her boyfriend is waking up. Nigga, you're waking up. Don't fucking leave me stranded. You got me fucked up, nigga.
literally not knowing what else to do, I dizzily stepped out onto the road and began walking back home. I knew this walk would take anywhere from half an hour to an hour in my condition. Maybe after 15 minutes of walking down the road, the slight shine of car headlights on the road was fading in from behind me. Jumping for joy inside, I lifted up my arm and stuck out my thumb. As the car neared, it slowed down and came to a stop right next to me.
Hey, look, funny story, bro. I did this shit before. Real shit. I did it before. Let me sit my stupid ass down.
The 98 Ford Explorer rolled down the window and asked where you headed. I told him my house was just down the road and beyond a right turn, probably slurring my words beyond comprehension. He chuckled and told me to hop in. I thanked him and joyously hopped into the truck. I was exhausted, and I remember completely disregarding things the guy was asking me because I was so close to just passing out. And that's what happened. The memories of being in that truck turned to a fog, as I'm sure I passed out.
Yo, all these ads, yo. It's
Eve
on you.
Online is a
It's because you don't want to pay YouTube Premium, bro. No ads. You can skip all that. It's because you know who you are.
The next thing I remember,
Too broke for
I
that
woke
shit.
up still in the moving truck. The guy looked at me and laughed, but didn't say anything. I looked around and realized the road we were on wasn't familiar. I nervously asked, where are we going? He then said, so what were you doing out this late anyway? As the
None of
man
your
answered
business,
my
bro.
very straightforward question with another irrelevant question, the sobering reality of the situation hit me. You can let
butterflies,
me
bro.
out anywhere, I told the man. The man responded with a firm no.
Fuck you mean
I
no,
felt like
nigga?
throwing up as he said that. No, I really actually felt like I was going to throw up. I started to gag as I felt more and more nauseous by the second. The man took his eyes off the road to look at me, and that's when I thought of the perfect distraction. I turned in his direction as I continued to gag, and he started to kind of lean away and slow down the car.
Yeah. That nigga sick,
Thankfully,
bro.
I drank as much as I did because I finally threw up and made a point of doing it all over the man's lap. The man yelled in frustration and stopped the car, and that's when I took it upon.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. What I would have did if I was him. Like, right, we driving. I'm stepping on the brake. Nigga, you gonna puke on that dash, but you ain't gonna puke on me. And I'm taking you still.
myself to run for my life into the woods and duck behind a few bushes.
Hey, I used to run track, nigga. Ain't no running.
The man came following into the woods with a flashlight, and on 2 separate occasions, he shined the light straight over me without noticing. Eventually, I heard his footsteps walk even further into the woods past me. That was when I ran back to his truck, but unfortunately, he was smart enough to lock it. By some miracle, I saw another car approaching in the distance, and I ran out into the middle of the street, waving my arms like a lunatic. The car tried to avoid me, but I wouldn't let it. They were forced to stop, and I yelled at them to help me before they came back. Once I told them that I was kidnapped by the man who was driving that Ford Explorer, the driver agreed to give me a lift. Not to the police station or anything, but to my house. I made it back safely, where I couldn't thank the driver enough. I immediately woke up my parents and told them. My dad wanted to know if I got his tag number, and then I felt like punching myself in the face. I failed to get the simplest information from the guy that would have allowed me to actually properly report him. All I knew was that he drove a faded blue '99 Ford Explorer. I made sure to give Alex a piece of my mind, and part of me always held a grudge against him ever since, just for abandoning me at a party without telling me.
That's not even enough, bro. I would never talk to dude ass again in my life. Bro, if I had to go through all that, I would never talk to dude ass again in my life. Yo.
I haven't seen him in 4 years now, however, and this was actually the first time I even thought about this incident for almost a year now. As time goes on, even the worst of memories may start to fade. But after writing this to share with the internet, it's once again fresh in my mind.
The world is a scary place, bro. It is.
A couple weeks ago, my dad came home and pitched me a
44
smart job
minutes, nigga.
offer.
What?
One of his coworkers was going away for
This
a few
is the
days and needed
last
somebody he
one.
could trust to watch over his house. The reason my dad pitched this
Hey,
to
I
me
ain't even
was because
realize,
the
bro.
man's house has a big
That's the
CCTV
brother right there,
system.
bro.
Basically,
All
a
right.
camera in every room, and then an operating desk where all screens could be watched on a big monitor. And I'm a computer science major, so my dad just always assumes that I know how to work anything technological. The man told my dad,
Hey, bro, that's what we like to see, bro. Smart black young men, bro. Smart black young man, bro. That's me, bro. Like, I look at him, bro, and I see me, bro. Not the dad, bro.
that he'd pay me $200 for the 2 days just to watch the house. Whatever that meant.
Not him.
My dad drove me
I
to
got
the house and
mustache
introduced
shit.
me to the
A little
man
bit of
whose
beard
name
and
doesn't
shit.
matter. The man made it seem like he preferred I stay in the upstairs room with the monitors as opposed to roaming the house all day. That was fine.
What the fuck? Hold on. He looked like Donald Glover a little bit. He
With
do.
me though. So when I wasn't eating, I was mostly just sitting in that room with the TV on in the background and doing schoolwork on my laptop. Ironically, the thing I was doing the least was keeping an eye on the monitors. Night came. I started wondering where in the house I should sleep, since surprisingly, we hadn't discussed that. So I sat back down at the desk and looked at all the different rooms on the screens to see which rooms had beds or couches. I noticed something I wasn't expecting to notice though. The back screen door was open downstairs. I didn't remember it being open. I looked through each and every camera screen in a panic.
Bro, I
The
would have
living
noticed that,
room
bro.
closet door was open. This one I knew wasn't open earlier. I texted my dad to call the man and ask him if he came back home. Meanwhile, I continued watching the screen. On the grainy, dark image, a tall person who resembled only a black shadow on the screen stepped out from the closet. I pulled my arms off the desk as I covered my mouth with my hands in shock. As I did this, however, my left elbow pulled some heavy object from the desk onto the floor, creating a big thud. The person in the image very clearly moved their head up to the ceiling as a response to the noise.
Oh, God.
The stairs, walking up very,
God,
very
nigga, I would
slowly,
be.
step by step.
Nigga, oh,
Meanwhile, I
shit.
got a text back from my dad saying, "No, he's not. I just spoke to him half an hour ago. Why?" I got so caught up in my phone texting my dad to send help that I didn't even pay attention to the monitor.
Hey, look. I'm gonna pay for that premium. Fuck it, though.
There was a knock at the door. I looked at it and then the screens. The first screen I laid my eyes on was the one showing the person outside the door to the room I was in. When I remembered that door had no lock, the only thing I could think to do was jump out the window into the bushes below. I ran
Fuck the
halfway down
bushes,
the block
nigga.
and then stopped when my dad called me. I had
Smacking
him call
straight
his friend and ask
concrete,
him
bro,
if
and
he
I'm
was
hopping
expecting
up and
someone in
running
the
still.
house. The man said he had no relatives or friends who had his key or would
Nigga,
ever
you know,
let
I used
themselves
to
into
long
his home.
jump, bro. I
So
jump
he called the
long.
cops and had them review the footage. I got to watch all of it, and it showed everything. From the moment the
Type shit.
intruder broke the glass to the backyard door, to the moment I jumped out the window and him running away shortly after. The intruder was never found. The footage was just too dark to identify his face.
That was it, man. We're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna stop it right there. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really get scared at all. Like, not really. Like, maybe it caught me off guard, you feel me, here and there. But, like, I ain't get scared for real. So, you feel me? Look, we gonna finish this one, the next video. And then we gonna find some other stuff to watch and stuff. But next time, hopefully, I'm gonna pay for that premium, bro. I can't stand these ads, bro. But hey, peace. Hey, look. Listen. Through God, anything is possible, bro. Through God, anything is possible, bro. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I don't got too much to say, but what I do got to say, y'all should listen, bro.